Be joined by Soja6. So we're going to try to add him in here right now. And Steven has a wonderful t-shirt company with his wife, Holly.
It's kind of a family venture here. It's me and my wife, Holly. Both have a social work background. And then my 4 kids kind of all joined in on this on differing levels. We decided we wanted to kind of start a t-shirt company that focused on t-shirts and things like that for social workers specifically, and then social justice related issues.
I tend to just stay close to those people that are energizing to me, that are positive. Soja6 being one of them, just to feel connected. Because I think one of the hardest things about being a school social worker is that we're kind of islands unto ourselves. We don't really get to see other social work in the field because we are splitting 2 campuses and we're just go.
Even the jobs that we love the most have their rough days, and sometimes we kind of wonder what we're doing and if we're doing the right thing. But if you're taking care of yourself and you're making sure that you're the healthiest that you can be, it's really going to help with those moments. Like everything else, I mean, we talk about self-care so much. I read a great article on self-care written by some students at St. Edward's down in Austin last week. I made my students read it because it was so good, but it talks about how I think a lot of times we kind of laugh off self-care as, oh, I'm going to go to the spa, or I'm going to go out and have a couple drinks with friends. Well, definitely that can be self-care. It's as intentional of a skill as anything else in social work. Being a good motivational interview is important, but it's no more important than being someone who can take care of themselves. And so having a good self-care plan in place, like a concrete written down plan with goals and schedules and everything like that, that really, I think, helps with your motivation. My first job, I wasn't actually called a school social worker. So I knew when I was in grad school that I wanted to do school social work. A lot of the districts around where I was living and wanted to live didn't have school social workers. So I would just call and ask if there were any jobs that social workers were hired for, and I actually was steered toward the job I ended up getting. I was steered toward a special ed department. And so while I call myself a school social worker, my job is actually behavior specialist. If you can find someone, ask what are their challenging situations, and chances are there's a social worker that can deal with that. I worked primarily with elementary, and with those kiddos we had a lot of attendance problems. We did a research project, me and a couple of students, a few years back, and when you have those really young kids, they're not the ones half the time deciding, more than half the time, they're not the ones deciding if they're coming to school or not. So we did those positive behavior supports, except we focused them on the parents. And so when you got to come to school, we called it a frequent flyer program, and you got frequent flyer points. And then like at the end of every month, all the families that had kids that had a certain amount of points got to come to a family movie night. We fed them, we passed out puzzles, then we had gift cards, like grocery gift cards that we gave away. And then at the end of the semester, all the kids that hit 90% attendance got to come to a party at Chuck E. Cheese. I think we had a 27% increase in. If you can find the money to do that. We got lucky and we got a grant to do it, but just doing some creative things. That's one of the things I think social workers are pretty good at.
We are able to think outside of the box. That is one of our many strengths. I had seen some of your students waving and saying hi on here. That's awesome that they're on here.
I always tell my students, find social workers and just ask them, what is the one piece of advice that they will give you? Like if you had one quick word of advice to give all social workers, so I can tell my students, what would it be?
My piece of advice is learn from your client, because people just want to be seen for who they are, and they do have things to teach us. We might get resistance, and we just have to continue coming back to that person, showing them that we are a different type of individual. That's not something they're used to at all. So there is a lot of resistance, and you can't take that personal. People that are the hardest to love are the ones that need it the most. That's what I would tell teachers that are starting off. So I've enjoyed this social work chat with you this Sunday.
Yeah, thank you for letting me do it.
And check out his Instagram, or the Soja6 wonderful t-shirts. I just think they're so original, and I love the different designs that you're coming up with, especially the voting one. I think that's very important.
Yeah, and I'll say, somebody did ask a question about home visits. What I'll say is Lauren did a really good thing on like basic rules about home visit. I actually made my class watch it and gave them a quiz over it a few weeks ago. They all really liked it. So that's a good place to start, is to go to her YouTube channel and check out her home visit thing, and then read through the comments there because they're pretty good.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And I guess we're going to go ahead and say goodbye now.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.